good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Like I said, I know a lot of y'all are sad. I know a lot of y'all are disappointed, you know what I mean, with your boy Jay, you know, not going live on Twitch today. But like I told y'all, man, I made a sacrifice. And I will never make that sacrifice again. I repeat, I will never make that sacrifice again. You know what I mean? But anyways, we got the Atlanta child murders. Atlanta child murders. What's going on? I stay in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what, 25 minutes from Atlanta? And that's one thing I got to say. I ain't gonna lie. This just popped in my head right here. You know what I'm saying? And this has nothing to do with the video. You know what I'm saying? But why this is one question. Why everybody that's from Georgia, because like I said, I'm from Alabama. I'm an Alabama cat. Y'all know that, right? But one thing that kind of like with Georgia, why everybody from Georgia think they're from Atlanta? Can some Georgia people tell me that? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because for me being from, you know, because I ain't gonna lie, I claim two cities. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying from the Gump, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying from Montgomery, then I say I'm from Dothan, from the Dot. Grew up in both places, you know what I'm saying? Born and raised in the Dot, though. You know what I'm saying? But I claim two places, right? But it's like a lot of y'all, bro, that claim Atlanta really never grew up in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Y'all never grew up in Atlanta. You know, rarely go to Atlanta. But it's just something about Georgia people that claims they're from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? If you don't remember, even if you're born in Atlanta, right? If you don't remember your time in Atlanta, you know what I mean? If you like really didn't like grow up, if you don't have no memories in Atlanta, you're not from Atlanta. I just had to say that because that pisses me off about Georgia people. Whole time you're from Peachtree City talking about you from Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? You know Georgia isn't Atlanta, right? Do you know that? Do everybody, I'm not just like, do you know that, right? Fairburn is not Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, them things are not Atlanta. Peachtree, where you from? You're from Peachtree City. You know what I'm saying? That's where you from. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta is Atlanta. You got Clayco, you know what I'm saying? You got all these other, you feel me? Atlanta is Atlanta. It just confused me about Georgia people. You know what I'm saying? Georgia people is the only people, I think, on God's green earth that claims a city they're not from. You know what I mean? Everybody from Georgia wants to be from Atlanta, but in reality, he's from Fairburn. You know what I'm saying? In reality, from Peachtree City. You feel me? In reality, it's from Savannah. You know what I'm saying? But I just had to speak on that. I'm like, why do Georgia people, why do everybody in Georgia claim Atlanta? Like, do you not know Atlanta is a city, bro? It's not a state. Do you know that? The city that you were born in, that's the city you're from? It be confused me. I'm like, dang, bro, the way these people claim Atlanta, you think Atlanta is a state or something. It's a city, not a state. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just had to say that, man. It's kind of, Georgia people just kind of confusing to me. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, I'm not in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm close up, you know what I'm saying? I'm not too far from Atlanta, you feel me? But yeah, man, the Atlanta child murders, for all my new subscribers and for all my new viewers, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want to go watch, because I'm going to do part 1 and I'm going to do part 2. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. You know what I'm saying? I just never got to it. But for all my new subscribers, for all my new viewers, if you want to see videos like these, it is in a true stories reaction. I was thinking about putting this in a documentary reaction, but I'm like, I'll put it in the true story reaction. I feel like it fits better in that playlist section. You know what I mean? But did you miss me? Because I know she wants to kiss me.
July 28th, 1979.
Oh, this happened back in the day.
In Georgia, and a woman is collecting cans off an empty and abandoned lot off the side of Niskey Lake Road when she comes across the unmistakable smell of decomposition. The road is lined on each side by trees, and as the woman comes closer to the source of the smell, what she sees would soon begin over a year of terror for the children and families of Atlanta. There in the woods was the body of a young boy. After calling the police, authorities eventually identify the boy as Edward Hope Smith. His friends called him Teddy. Edward, 14 at the time, had been reported missing for a week before his body was found in the woods. The cause of death is determined to be a gunshot wound to the back, fired from a .22 caliber pistol, although the bullet was never recovered. As police reached the scene and began canvassing the area, they would soon realize that this was not the only body they'd find that day. Not far away, within 150 yards from Edward's body, was the body of another child, in a state of extensive decomposition. It was clear to authorities that this body had been in the woods much longer than Edward's had. and therefore might have been dumped at a different time. Due to the level of decomposition, it would take authorities over a year to identify him, but eventually, the body was determined to have been that of Alfred James Evans.
What's going on, bro? They just killing black kids. What's freak going on, gang? You know what I'm saying? Seen one, I'm like, all right. Now I'm seeing another one. Oh, this is a black massacre. You know what I'm saying? What the freak is going on, gang? You know what I mean? Going crazy, man. I don't be understanding, man. Sometimes I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like I said, I don't even care. But do you even know why you hate color folks? Like, I just be thinking, like, that's the weirdest thing in life. Like it has to be jealousy. Like, for any racist person that's watching this, do you even know why you hate color folks? There's no way you really think you're better than me because you're lighter than me. Like, do we start, like, let's just, like, do you understand that stupid? As I said, one thing about racist people, and this has to be racism, so I'm speaking on it. You know, I see two black children. Yep, this is a black massacre. You know what I mean? White person going around here killing black kids. You know what I'm saying? But racist people is probably the most dumbest people known to mankind. These people actually think they're better than me because they're lighter than me. You got teeth like me. You got a tongue like me. Everything that I have, you have. But you think you're better than me because you're... I can't believe this, y'all. I can't believe it. Like, I don't even see how people get mad at that stuff. Like, how could I get mad at that? You know what I'm saying? And it's like racist people don't even understand that they came from black. Do you not understand that? Do you not understand you have black in you? You are not fully white. Nobody is fully anything. Like, for me, I'm not fully black. Do you know my great-great-great-granddad was white, gang? Do you know that? My great-great-great-granddad was white, bro. Married a black woman. So guess what that baby gonna look like? Light skin. She turned out to marry another black. I have white in me. You have white in you. Nobody's fully black. Nobody's fully white. Made up. That's why we trying to get you. How I think is reality. How you think is false. That's when you start realizing. I'm like, bro, how humans think isn't reality. You don't. How you think isn't real. So yeah, you around here hating black folks, just know you hate your great-great-great-grandma too. You hate your great-great-great-granddad. You're not fully white. You know what I'm saying? Because all you can make is white. That's all you can make. You can't make no other colors. All you can make is white. That's all you can make. You can't make nothing else. You can't make black. You can't make albino. You can't make nothing but white. That's it. How the freak you get hit in? That's all I be trying to say. How do you hate the people that you came from? Is that not the dumbest thing? You hate the people that you came from? That's the most stupidest thing known to mankind. This man killing the people he came from. That's the most stupidest.
And reported
This
missing
stupid little racist this stupid little racist don't even know he got black in his blood.
The cause of death, asphyxia.
That little dumb little boy.
While the police were originally unwilling to acknowledge any correlation between the deaths of the two boys,
come on to me trying to play crazy. That's all I gotta say. I'm coming to me thinking it's still some sundown towns. There ain't no racism exists no more. Like I said, I ain't never experienced racism in my life. You know what I mean? If a racist cat ever had a problem with me, he ain't tell me about it. I'm saying racism don't exist to me. I ain't never experienced racism. A racist white person ain't never came up to me and said nothing. Think you finna strangle me, boy? You crazy out your mind, boy. You must be out your dang mind. Think you finna do something to me? No, you talking about some sundown towns, man. It's sun up. Wherever I go, sun up. So all that little, racist people, and I'm talking to the racist people. You know what I mean? All that little you thinking it's finna go back to where it's finna go, man. Look, yeah, this different right here, gang. You know what I'm saying? This is a different type of generation right here, bro. Go and just let it go, gang. Let it go. This ain't, back then, this ain't no color folks and white fountain and black fountain. No, there ain't none of that no more. You know what I'm saying? We finna change the history up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So all that, just let it go, gang. You might as well just love us, bro, because we ain't going nowhere. I promise you that. You feel me? If anybody else gonna be on the side of that stick, it's gonna be you. I promise you that. I promise. I put my life on that. So just let all the hate go, cuz. We ain't going nowhere. Just let it all go. Just let it go, cuz. You know what I mean? You're going to get slapped in your mouth.
And both came from low-income neighborhoods.
Keep it a buck with you.
Teddy's parents have had no word from their son.
Just let that junk go, like, for real.
14-year-old has
ain't going back to how it used to be,
like
bro.
This. But the family lives in a neighborhood where there's
strangling you little kids, man.
Among youths. And when a 14-year-old wanders away from home,
keep pissing me off right here.
Concerned.
But for cops in Atlanta, a city looking to build its reputation as a hub for national business, the deaths of 2 black boys were quickly swept under the rug, with little effort
look
into
at
their investigation. But in the years to come,
swept under the rug, huh?
These children would demand to be heard, ushering in one of the darkest periods in Atlanta's history.
Slept on the rug.
Not pleasant days on the south side of Atlanta. Someone has been abducting and murdering black children, and the police, unable to make any headway, are under fire. Sam Ford reports.
Chapter 1, the city too busy to hate.
In the years leading up to the murders that would eventually put Atlanta's name on headlines across the nation, Atlanta was already in the spotlight for an entirely different reason. In the 1960s and 70s, Atlanta was one of many cities in the Deep South racing to become the new southern hotspot for business and commerce. After expanding its metropolitan area, Atlanta was committed to inviting the most hopeful and hardworking people to build their careers and businesses in the city. Gone were the days of being just another town in the Deep South. Atlanta was now competing for the title of the New South, not only becoming a leader in economics, but a cultural hub as well. Although, the city wasn't without its faults, and like many cities in the American South, Atlanta grappled with the ever-present racism entrenched in its systems. With a very recent history of KKK activity and lynchings, Atlanta's expansion and success still didn't solve the racial divide, and the people benefiting the most were the affluent white population of Atlanta, while black Atlantans were still facing the heat of systemic discrimination in housing, employment, and the justice system.
It's like, just think about it, bro. You had to come steal everything. Just think about it, bro. You stole everything, gang. You know what I'm saying? And we still neck and neck with you. Do you know how bad that looked? How you come and steal everything? How you come and steal everything? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about steal people's inventions. Like I said, one thing we all know, one thing about America, America is built off lies. America is built off blood and built off lies. You know what I'm saying? Built off violence. Built off slavery. And that's why I be trying to say this. I say this one thing all the time, bro. I know it probably rubs some people the wrong way. If it rubs you the wrong way, it is what it is. I feel like slavery was a choice. I feel like it was a choice, gang. Every state did not have slavery. So if you chose to stay in slavery, gang, I ain't gonna lie, that was a choice right there. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't care if I die. I don't care what's gonna happen to me, gang. It's not a single day that I'm not trying to escape. You got a lot of people that escaped the freedom. You got some people that weren't going for none. We got Harriet Tubman. You got some people that weren't going for none. You could try to escape freedom. It'd probably be a long road. It'd probably be a hard road. But I'm finna escape the freedom tonight. So for me, I feel like slavery was a choice. You choosing to stay here. You choosing to pick this cotton. You choosing to do this. Man, it's just real. It's not a choice. I feel like life is choice driven. I feel like even if it's bad, even if it's good, whatever it is, I feel like life is choice driven. I feel like you ain't forced to do nothing. I feel like everything is choice driven. One thing about me, I'm willing to die before I become a slave. So even though, you know what I'm saying, I probably die, I won't be no dang slave. I promise you that. I feel like God put certain people in generations because he already know, okay, if I put Jalen in this generation, that boy gonna die. That boy gonna turn into Django. I promise you I'll be Django. I promise. You think I'm gonna go out there and pick cotton, bro? I don't care how many guns you got, boy. And this ain't me saying it, just saying that God retract my life and put me back in slavery. I bet I'll be dead tonight. I bet I'll be dead. Not a single night I ain't finna try to go out here and survive. Not a single night I ain't trying to escape. Not a single night I ain't trying to kill some. That's on my mama. You feel me? Thinking I'm finna be a slave. Thinking I'm finna be locked up in chain. But you might be out your dang mind, boy. You know what I'm saying? Not a single night I ain't trying to go escape. Not a single night. I'm finna be like Harriet Tubman. I would have been with Harriet Tubman them for real. I feel like slavery was a choice, gang. You know what I mean? I feel like them people were scared. I feel like people that escaped, bro, for freedom, you know what I'm saying? They were the bold and brave. You gotta be brave, bro. You gotta be bold. Thinking I'm finna be out here slaving. You know what I'm saying? But be out your dang mind. I'd rather die than be a slave. Word up. My spirit free. I'd rather die than be a slave. If I can't be treated equal, I don't want to be here. Death is what I choose rather than slavery. So I do feel like, in my opinion, slavery was a choice.
However, over time, public opinion would
Better try to get the freak up out there. But I mean, every day you can, bro. And like I said, every state wasn't with that slavery junk. Slavery was deep down in the South, bro. The folks in New York and all that slavery wasn't going on in all them other states, bro. That was a Southern thing for real, being real. That wasn't everywhere, bro. So you escape the freedom. It'd probably be, like I said, a hard road, but shoot, freedom worth that cost. You feel me? And not every state in the South was with that slavery junk. You had certain states that's with that junk, bro. You know what I'm saying? But them not escaping, them not leaving slavery because of fear and all that, man, look, that junk was choice, bro. You know what I'm saying? That junk was only like that in certain states. That junk wasn't like that across the whole America. So I don't want people to think slavery was like that around America. Nah, heck no. Some people, racism existed, but you had some people that weren't with that junk. You had some people that weren't with that slavery junk. You had some people that weren't with that racist junk. I don't want you thinking every white person was racist back then. Heck no. You had some people, you know what I'm saying? Just had a lot of bad ones. You feel me?
When the city started to make tangible steps towards desegregating schools, even electing its first ever black mayor in 1973, followed soon by its first black police chief, public safety commissioner, and city council president in the years following.
Come on, bro, we the originals,
Atlanta
bro.
was changing, now proudly calling itself the city too busy to hate.
They know that.
On the surface, it seemed like the city was seeing new horizons, with the promise of equal opportunity and unprecedented growth.
Why do you think we hated the most?
The city was determined to protect at all costs.
Blueprinting this.
So when reports of rising crime rates and missing black boys and girls were being raised, police and the media did its best to ignore the problem, maintaining its image lest the money stop flowing.
Not a problem.
That's why it was all too easy for the police to chalk up the 2 murdered boys to drug-related violence. But the communities these murders had affected did not accept this response, and as more children would be found, the Atlanta lawmakers would soon feel the heat.
Keep it on the rug, huh? And what we doing, huh? Chapter 2, Fear Without a Name. Oh yeah, Fear Without a Name, huh?
Only a few months after the discovery of Edward Smith and
my boy
Evans,
Alfred,
there
man.
came a slew of other missing
Love
black
Alfred,
children,
man.
soon to be found dead in various parts of Atlanta. The third to be added to the list was 14-year-old Milton Harvey, who in early September 1979 was reported missing after he'd rode a bike to the bank to pay off a credit card statement for his mother. It was the first day of school that day, but Harvey had stayed home because he was embarrassed by the shoes his mother had gotten him. After paying the bill, somewhere in the 3 miles between the bank and his home, he disappeared. His bike would be found a week later on a dirt road, but it would take police another 2 months to find his skeletal remains off the intersection of Desert and Redwine Road, so badly decomposed that it was difficult to pinpoint the cause of death. This location was over 12 miles away from his home. To this day, his cause of death remains undetermined. Soon after, on October 21st, 9-year-old Yusuf Ali Bell would go missing after heading out on an errand to buy snuff or tobacco.
9 years old, man. That right here make me mad, man. I'm saying, weird, bro. This junk here make me mad, cuz. Fuck, I don't like watching junk like this, bro.
Tobacco for an elderly neighbor. A store employee who recalls seeing Yusuf said he left the store at around 4:45 p.m. Another witness, who actually knew Yusuf Bell and his mother, then claimed she saw him entering a blue car on Fulton Street, but Yusuf's mother claimed that the witness was untrustworthy. For weeks after his disappearance, his community rallied to find him and bring him home.
What kind of a boy was he?
Basically a good boy, bright, outgoing to some extent, but not as outgoing as, say, my other son. He played drums, he played trumpet, he was running for treasurer of his class.
He was a well-loved boy in his neighborhood, known to all as a very bright and quick-witted kid. So when he went missing, neighbors were putting up flyers and asking everyone they could for information.
If there's somebody out there like that has him, I just wish they knew that somebody here loves him, that a whole lot of people love him, that this whole community loves him, and they want him back too.
To Yusuf's mother, the idea that he had simply run away, an explanation the police often suggested, made no sense.
He wasn't the kind of little boy that would run away. He's involved in everything. He's in the gifted program at Dunbar. He's involved in boys club. He's involved in a karate class.
To her, it seemed as though the Atlanta PD wasn't taking her case seriously. So his mother, Camille Bell, decided to take matters into her own hands, pleading to cameras for the perpetrator to bring her son home.
Send him home. Just send him home. Just let him go. And let him call us. We'll come pick him up. They don't have to even bring him back. Just turn him loose where he can get to a phone. Just send him home.
A few weeks later, on November 8th, 1979, his body would be found by a janitor in the crawl space of an abandoned school. Upon examination, Yusuf's body showed signs of strangulation, with bruises and fingernail punctures found on his neck. His cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. But what was different about this case was that it was the first time that investigators had found fibers on one of the bodies. On Yusuf's pants was a small piece of masking tape, and stuck to the tape were green carpet fibers. Now, this piece of information didn't mean anything to investigators at the time, but it would soon become the...
So you gonna look here and say that we deserve this, man? These folks killing folks because they black, gang. You know what I mean? And people got the nerve of talking about we the problem with this country. Oh yeah, we the problem with this country, bro. Who you think invented violence? I promise you, black folks didn't invent violence. I promise you that. Black folks ain't invent violence. If anything, they was the ones that they was being violent. We all know who invented violence. We know who invented violence. The RAP. The pink. You know what I'm saying? The cutting off, like, bro, cutting off balls and putting them in their mouth. Yeah, they was doing that. The lynchings. Who did all that? Who started the violence in America? But every time, that's why I say, that's one thing about me. I don't look on that news. I don't be on that internet junk. Every time you look on that news, who the freak you see on that news? Dang, we the only ones committing crimes in America. We the only ones. Dang. You look on the news, bro, I'm telling you, 95% of the time, you're going to see a black man on that news. Don't look at that junk, bro. We the only ones on black. It'll be so... Why do everybody else commit crimes? When a black person commit a crime, everybody going to talk about it. It's like it's jealousy. It got to be a point you just jealous, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It got to be a point you just jealous at this point. You acting like, you telling me white people don't kill white people, gang? Like, what the freak? I think in statistics, white people kill white people more than black people kill black people. I'm telling you. You got these Mexicans killing Mexicans. You got these cartels that's killing people, bombing stuff. And you talking about blacks? I'm telling you, bro, everybody else can kill. Everybody else, they can kill. Let a black person kill another black person. Oh, man, no, America will be so good without black people. Black person get locked up for something, but all America gonna speak on it. Let a white person get locked up. Silence. Right? Silence. Let a Mexican get locked up. Silence. Gonna be silence. Ain't too many people gonna say nothing about him. But us, it's gonna be a rampage. How I look at it when it comes to racist people, I look at you like you're jealous. That's how I look at it. I look at it like you're jealous, bro. Like when I see racist white people, bro, you jealous. You jealous, man. You want to be us. It's like you love us. You know what I mean? It's like you love what we can do, but you don't like us. Just imagine that. Imagine a world, just think about it. Imagine a world without black people. How would that world be? How would the NBA be? How would the NFL be? How would the things that you enjoy, how would music be? How would the things that you enjoy be? Imagine, how would boxing be? Just imagine a world without black folks. You know what I'm saying? It'll be boring as heck. Look at the content creators. Just look at it, gang. I see it as jealousy. I see it as jealousy when you rate, because you have you cannot even think of a reason why you hate black folks. I bet you ask a racist person why you hate black folks. He cannot give you a solid reason. Why do you hate black folks? Well, because they do this and they do that. Like your people just picture perfect, bro. So your people commit no crime. No, despite that, what is the reason you just cannot stand black folks? They don't even know the own reason why they don't like black folks. They can't even give you a reason why they don't like black folks. Pure jealousy. Pure hate. You know why they hate us? You know what I'm saying? You know why them racist folks hate us? Because they want to beat us. That's why they hate us. Because you want to beat us. They love us. They love what we do. They just don't like it. It's jealousy they hating, bro. That's what it comes. So they try to... One thing about you, bro, you can't make me feel something, bro. One thing about me, bro, you can't make me feel bad about being brown. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. I love my skin. I won't rather be no other skin tone. I promise you that. You can't make me feel bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say about me, bro, but I better not hear it. That's one thing I say all the time. Not be around white folks all the time. They be cool as heck to me. That's why I say I ain't never experienced racism. What is racism at? If somebody racist to me, I don't hear it. If they got a problem with black people, I don't be in it. I ain't never experienced an inch of racism in my life. You feel me? Yeah, but you can't make me feel. Because you know the craziest thing, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ don't look like you. You know what I mean? You know that, right? The Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Jesus, your Lord and Savior, that you so-called believe in. You know what I'm saying? You know he's not white, right? You know he was born that white people ain't here, right? You know Jesus ain't speak English. You know that, right? You know God, you know Jesus was a darker skin tone. You know that, right? So dang, you hate us, you hate Jesus. Put that in your mind. So all that little fake old Jesus, that's why I don't get that little white Jesus. I don't get that joke. I would never get no book with a white Jesus on there. They even try to make God white. Everything you look around, white, white, white. Dang, bro, everything just white. And y'all just a blueprint, huh? Thank God white too. Nobody ever seen God. You get a book right now. I bet you they're gonna make God seem white. Nobody has ever seen God. The only person that's seen God, he seen the back of God was Moses. Dang, bro, you telling me God white with this long wool hair? I seen on a book one time. It was about God. God was white. All the disciples white. Jesus Christ white. Everybody white. I wish I would have a book with a white Jesus on it, man. Get that junk out my face, man. You know what I'm saying? You know the freak he was born? Well, you know where he's at? No white people around there. Man, I want you to go white people, man. I want you to go look down there. Where Jesus born, I want you to go down. Ain't no white people down there, gang. You feel me? So that's all I be saying, G. You know it and everybody else know it. You feel me? So if you hate us, you hate your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because he look just like us. You feel me? So I just had to say that too. Jesus is not white.
Focal point of the investigation. Now,
that little white Jesus that you seen, he false. That's a false idol. You know what I'm saying? He fake. Ain't how Jesus look, gang.
With 4 black children dead,
he ain't white American.
Similar causes of death in the span of a few months.
He wasn't born in America. Jesus was not born in America.
Treating these cases as isolated incidents.
Jesus is foreign.
Advocates in pressuring the
Jesus didn't even speak English.
To investigate these 4 murders properly was Camille Bell, mother of Yusuf Bell, who in the years to come would play a critical role in bringing attention to the victims.
What I'm saying to you is it's not enough to love your children. You got to love my children. You got to love everybody's children. If you see a child out there that's walking into trouble, don't say, well, his mama don't care. If you care, you say something. If it's important to you, you stop it. If you see a child getting into somebody's car, if it's his daddy's car and that's who he's going with, fine. You know, so you get it, so you go over and you look a little foolish for a minute. But wouldn't you feel better looking a little foolish for a minute because you said something than having a pain in your heart from now on because you didn't?
She would later partner with other leaders in the community to ensure that her son's killer would be found. She would frequent City Hall and demand to speak to city officials. She did TV interviews pressuring the police to investigate the case and organized within her local community to prioritize the safety of their children. But for the city officials of Atlanta, this growing uproar was becoming a problem.
Be a problem then.
They spent years cultivating an image of Atlanta that flaunted booming business and continuous growth. And now, that image was at risk of being shattered. Trying to quell the panic, city officials continuously insisted that there was no link between the murders and that they were all isolated incidents. The threat of bad press was so concerning that the city had even hired a public relations consultant to, quote, improve communications between the police and the public. But for Camille Bell, the question of who killed her son was still unanswered, and soon the group of concerned mothers would grow.
The new normal.
Throughout Christmas and the New Year of 1980, the Atlanta child killer laid low. But a few months into the new year, the murders would start again, and this time more consistent than ever before. The first victim of 1980 would be 12-year-old Angel Latrice Lanier. She'd gone to her friend's house to watch Sanford & Sons, her favorite TV show, but had gone missing on the way back. Angel's body was found a week later tied to a tree, a few blocks from her home. She was found with women's underwear stuffed in her mouth and electrical cord tied around her hands. Her cause of death, like many of the others, was determined to be asphyxiation. But now, with 5 murders in 7 months and no word from police about similarities,
still ain't doing nothing.
The killer had grown.
Like what, bro? Still ain't doing nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? This man that murdered 5 black children, bro. What are you talking about? This is a serial killer. What are you talking about? And it happened in Atlanta. What is we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Why the freak you just sweeping under the rug, gang? Hey, bro. Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop pissing me off, gang. Just sweeping under the rug. The freak you mean sweeping under the rug? The freak is we talking about? This man to kill people and all in the same, killed 5 children in the same month, bro. And this happened in Atlanta, bro. You talking about you just sweeping under the rug, bro? Everybody in that department should be fired, gang. What the freak is wrong with you, boy? You know what I'm saying? What the freak? This ain't nothing to sweep under the rug, but I get it, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, black. I understand, you know what I'm saying? I get it, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want us here anyway. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want us dead anyway, you feel me? So I get it. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, all right, man.
Old. The next few murders.
That's all I'm saying. This junk right here pisses me off. 11 murders in the next 24 months, bro. You just sweeping it on the rug. Right. You know what I'm saying? This junk pissed me off, man. You know what I'm saying? I know if somebody murdered my son. Lord said, vengeance is mine. Lord, forgive me for I have sinned. Lord, I'm going to have to take vengeance in my hands. You know what I'm saying? Lord said, the vengeance is mine. God, thou shalt get judged. I'm going to find this killer. I'm going to find you, bro. You wrap my kid around in the tree. You put women underwear in the mouth. Man, you know what I'm going to do to you, gang? Do you not understand the pain I am going to inflict on you? Do you not understand, gang? The pain I'm going to inflict on you, bro, the pain, it hit different, bro. Like I said, it hit different with this, bro. It hit different. I know everybody can vouch to this. It hit different when that's your blood. When my cousin died, bro, I wanted to tear the whole city up. I wanted to paint the city red. I'm not going to lie to you because there's something about that. It's something about that blood. It's something about that being your blood. When that's your blood getting spilled, gang, it just hit different, bro. Maybe want to paint the city red. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I'm a Christian. Thank God I ain't got that, ain't no killer, bro. I wanted to paint the city dang red, bro. The whole freaking Montgomery, I wanted to paint it red. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, straight red. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling on a guy, God, thy shall take vengeance is mine. I'm feeling that holy junk. I wasn't feeling holy. I was feeling murderers.
Happened on average.
I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? But that's why you gotta step away from yourself and let God handle it. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? The junk. You feel me?
Every single month, sometimes even multiple.
Look at this, man. Look at this.
For 14 months.
24 murders on
Next was Jeffrey Mathis.
14 months.
Disappeared while running a quick.
What is we doing here?
Cigarettes. Some witnesses had come forward claiming that they'd seen Jeffrey for weeks, even months after his disappearance. But despite these sightings, Jeffrey was still nowhere to be found. Next came 14-year-old Eric Middlebrooks. After taking a phone call at around 10:30 p.m., Eric grabbed a hammer and some other hand tools and bolted out the door, saying he needed to fix his bike. Police were never able to figure out who this caller was, or why Eric needed to leave so quickly. The next morning, less than 24 hours after he'd left his house, Eric's body was found dumped behind a building that housed a bar. Upon examining the body, investigators found a clump of red fibers caught in Eric's shoe. His cause of death? Brain injury from a blunt instrument. The next few came in quick succession. June 9th, 12-year-old Christopher Richardson disappeared while walking to a nearby swimming pool. Camille Bell and a growing list of anguished mothers started putting pressure on the Atlanta PD, who at this point still didn't see the correlation between the murders.
Like what?
June 22nd, 7-year-old Latanya Wilson was abducted from her home in the middle of the night. Her parents
all these kids getting murdered and you telling me you ain't did a dang thing about it yet? That is crazy. That's wild right there. All these kids getting murdered, y'all. And they ain't done a dang thing about it yet. They just sweeping it under the rug. Let that happen today. Then they finna just sweep it under the rug, bro. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. All these kids getting murdered. Ain't nothing been done about it.
The next morning, to see the window pane in her room removed, the back door open, and Latanya nowhere to be seen.
I just want my little girl found safely and brought home. I miss her and I love her.
A witness later recounted that she'd seen 2 men carrying Latanya away the night she disappeared. The day after, 10-year-old Aaron White was last seen in a grocery store in southeast Atlanta. His body was found 1 day later, face down under a highway overpass. It was clear he'd fallen off the overpass, and his cause of death was determined to be positional asphyxiation. But because investigators assumed Aaron's death was an accident, his case wasn't associated with the Atlanta child murders until the next year.
For one thing, he was scared of height, and he wouldn't have been up on that bridge in the first place, and that was too far from home for him to be. And he never went down there.
July 9th, Anthony Carter disappeared while playing outside with a cousin. His body was found the next day, behind a warehouse with stab wounds to the back and chest. At this point, it had been 1 year since the murders began. 11 black children had vanished, 8 found dead, and 3 still missing. The city's children were being hunted, and their killer or killers were growing bolder with each passing month. The mothers of these children, much like the residents of Atlanta, had had enough. In June 1980, 3 mothers, Camille Bell, Willie Mae Mathis, and Venus Taylor, formed the Committee to Stop Children's Murders, or STOP for short, to pressure the Atlanta PD to investigate these cases as connected murders. And it worked, at least on the surface. Around a month later, the Public Safety Commissioner of Atlanta at the time, Lee Brown, announced the creation of a special task force dedicated to investigating the string of child murders that Atlanta had seen in the past year. The task force, initially composed of 5 officers, set out to identify patterns and connections between the cases. Around this time, they requested the assistance of the FBI Behavioral Science Unit and began compiling a list of victims they believed could be linked, an effort that would later come to define the entire investigation. This was supposed to be a turning point, a sign that the city was finally taking action and taking the children and mothers of Atlanta seriously. But if the killer was watching, he wasn't deterred. Just over a week after the announcement, another child disappeared. On July 30th, 1980, 10-year-old Earl Terrell headed to the local swimming pool with his friends, a familiar summer routine. But the day wouldn't go according to plan. After being caught roughhousing on deck a few times, Earl was kicked out and was seen leaving the pool on his own. What happened next is uncertain. A few witnesses recalled brief glimpses of him. One saw him crying alone at the corner of Jonesboro Road, while another claimed he stopped by a nearby house, looking for a friend who wasn't home.
Right up the street.
Somewhere along the path from the pool to his house, Earl Terrell disappeared. But this disappearance was not like the others the city had seen, because while his family was scouring the neighborhood looking for him, they received a call from what sounded like a middle-aged white man with a southern drawl. "I've got Earl," he was recounted as saying. "He's in Alabama. It will cost you $200 to get him back. I will call back."
Look, man. Cost me $200, man. You ain't finna get them. You gonna get some 200 bullets. You know what I'm saying? That's what you gonna get. I give you $200. What you want to meet? What you want me to? Give you 200 bullets. How about that? That's what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna give you 200 bullets.
On Friday. But the caller never followed up, and Earl wouldn't be found for another 6 months. This case marked one of the first times that the FBI actively stepped in. Up until then,
it took you this long to step in?
Been led by the Atlanta PD and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. But since the caller had claimed Earl had been taken across state lines, it suggested a potential federal crime, kidnapping. And under those circumstances, the FBI had the authority to intervene. But even with the FBI's involvement, months passed without answers. It wasn't until January 1981 that Earl's severely decomposed remains were found, alongside those of Christopher Richardson, who disappeared 7 months earlier. Now both boys' cause of death couldn't be determined, but the fact that they were found in the same secluded location was of interest to investigators.
Hey, bro.
Although the kids...
You dumb gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it doesn't take a scientist, like, it doesn't take a genius to understand that every single one of these freaking murders is connected, bro. Why is these investigators acting stupid? You know what I'm saying? You acting real dumb. They FBI, you, police department. You know what, man? I know that you just don't like black kids. That's what you just don't like black. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about some of the people in the police force want the black to be hunted. They want them to die, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why you ain't help, because you racist your dang self. People that's supposed to be protecting and serving racist they dang self. Probably happy that this happened. You know what I mean? That junk is crazy, bro. That junk is crazy. Yet black people get looked at like they deserve this. You know what I mean? If you think black people deserve any type of this, I don't feel like nobody deserve this. You know what I'm saying? But if you think they deserve this because they just black, bro. Black people just trying to live like any other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. Most, bro, just be real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like when it comes to everybody, just leave people alone, gang. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, just leave people alone. Let people be. Whether you white, black, purple, whatever. Life too short to be all this little hating junk. Like, I don't hate nobody, gang. I don't be paying attention to white folks, bro. I don't care what white folks got going on. I don't care what black folks got going on. I don't care what freaking Chinese. I don't care, gang. I mean, I be living my life, bro. All the little hate, bro. Hating, bro. It's too much energy to hate. It takes too much time to hate, man. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Know what I mean? All this little hating and all that. You know how much time this takes, bro? You hating black people this much that you just going just killing kids for no reason. That's the most weirdest junk, bro. You weird as heck, G. You killing kids for no reason. Just because they black. That junk, bro, you is OD weird, bro.
Know each other, their remains could suggest that they might have been killed and dumped at the same time.
We don't know whether this represents a major breakthrough or not. What we do know is that we're giving these cases everything we have to find in one location the remains of two bodies that appear to be children, obviously is a very significant occurrence.
While the police struggled to make sense of the connections, the killer, almost like clockwork, struck again. This time, it would be 12-year-old Clifford Jones, last seen collecting cans to sell with his cousins. After getting separated and going missing, his body would be found early the next morning, beside a dumpster at a shopping plaza. He was found wearing clothes that weren't his, and on those clothes were synthetic carpet fibers, just like the ones found on Yusuf Bell's body. Investigators concluded that just like Angel Lanier, Clifford had been strangled with a rope-like object. Clifford Jones marked the 13th missing or murdered black child in Atlanta, and for the mothers in the community, this was 13 children too many. Camille Bell and STOP ramped up their projects, holding press conferences for journalists to get the word out about what was going on in Atlanta. They took community safety into their own hands and organized neighborhood block groups meant to keep watch over the neighborhood's children.
We have not ruled out the fact that there's some relationship. All I've suggested is at this point, the information that we have has not tied it together to suggest a trend or a pattern.
The police department doesn't want to alarm the community. They're afraid of panic. But how many children do we have to lose in our neighborhoods before the police department says, hey, we've got a problem?
Thanks to the constant and unyielding efforts of STOP, the mayor expanded the Special Police Task Force from 5 officers to 17, whom he vowed were working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and would not leave any stone unturned. But when 11-year-old Darren Glass went missing 1 month later, never to be seen again, the city of Atlanta would start to see the reputation it had worked so hard to build begin to crumble. As the month dragged on, businesses and companies began pulling out of the city, citing reasons like heightened crime rates. Atlanta's task force, whose implementation was once considered a huge victory, was now hitting dead ends and running out of leads. In the meantime, another young boy, 12-year-old Charles Stevens, would go missing and quickly be found the day after, shirtless with the same carpet-like fibers that had been found on other victims.
Yeah, haunted.
No clues and no suspects, a group of volunteers naming themselves the United Youth Adult Conference of Atlanta decided to take on the search themselves, organizing massive search parties to look for anything that could shed light on the disappearances. On their very first search, the group found the heavily decomposed remains of what was later determined to be LaTanya Wilson, the 7-year-old girl who was abducted from her apartment 4 months earlier. Following this discovery, the searches continued, becoming larger and more frequent, with even the mayor joining the over 3,000 people who had volunteered to support the searches. But although most of the community seemed united in finding the children, an old threat was resurfacing. The KKK, who'd already had a long and fraught history terrorizing Atlanta's black and minority populations, was still active, and many believed it was them behind the murders. With the rising racial tensions, especially after a deadly explosion at a daycare in Atlanta, city officials feared a potential race war. Although Mayor Jackson was doing his best to quell concerns, he was losing the trust of the black community, and as the city seemed to fall in on itself, more black children would go missing. On the morning of November 1st, 1980, 9-year-old Aaron Jackson disappeared from a shopping center before being found on the bank of the South River the next day, fully clothed except for his socks. His cause of death, once again, was similar to some of the earlier murders: asphyxiation, this time by smothering. Just 9 days later, on November 10th, 16-year-old Patrick Rogers, or Patman as his friends called him, had gone to his friend's house to ask if he was home. Upon being told that he wasn't by his friend's mother, Patrick told her that a man had expressed interest in recording some of their songs. Patrick and Junior Harper, the friend, had written multiple songs together, so this interest from a music promoter was exciting. Because Junior wasn't home, he left and told his mother that he'd be back. The next time Patrick would be seen was a month later, in the Chattahoochee River. His body was so decomposed that the medical examiners could only conclude that he had a skull fracture, noting his cause of death as trauma to the head. By this point, the murders were getting national attention, and while the FBI was initially hesitant to get involved because of the jurisdictional concerns, the growing pressure left them with no choice. On November 17, 1980, the Atlanta FBI office began a major investigation, deploying 25 full-time agents to work on the case, a number that would grow to 45 in the coming months. December came and went without another disappearance, but the new year brought a deadlier and more frequent pattern of killings. 1981 was shaping up to be Atlanta's deadliest year yet. Only 3 days into January, 14-year-old Luby Jeter told his mother that he was going to sell car air fresheners at a mall in southeast Atlanta, but never returned.
All these black kids that got murdered, boy, it's crazy, boy. You know what I mean? Crazy. Murdered for no reason. Yet they speak on us. I'm telling you, man, a black person ain't never done this to a white person. I'm telling y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? This ain't never been done to any other, anybody else. This ain't never been done to them. I'm telling you right now. You know what I mean? Weird, man. Weird, man. It's weird how America, it's weird, man. I know everybody don't look at black people like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's weird, man. It's like strange, man. Very strange. Sometimes I be thinking like, dang, what do we do to make them people that mad? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I promise you, I'm going to keep it real. I don't be worried about none of y'all white folks, bro. When it comes to y'all races, I don't be worried about y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand why me being here make you so mad when I'm just living like you, gang. Like, bro, you literally pee like me. When you die, you go to the same grave, you report to the same God. Like, at this point, you just a weirdo. That's how we gotta look at it. Like, at this point, you just a weirdo. Like, gang, you wasn't even here first. Go ahead and talk about it, though. Like, you came and stole America. You came and stole the land. Wasn't even here. That Christopher Columbus, that junk is BS. All that fake old history they teach in school. One thing about history, they ain't gonna teach history. That's why I used to always skip Mr. Weldon class. I never cared about no history. All this little dang mummies. Let's talk about history. Want to be history class? Let's talk about history. Let's talk about slavery. Let's talk about the civil rights. Let's talk about that. Why is that not in the history book? Is that not part of history? Let's talk about Jesus Christ. Why do they limit history? That's why I say F school, bro. You know what I mean? School only teach us what they want to teach us, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. School only teach what they want to teach. School don't be teaching the life. School don't be teaching the real. School fake, man. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, bro, I would have been good with 8th grade education. The only thing you need in this life, bro, is reading, multiplication. You don't even need that sometimes, but yeah, multiplication, addition, subtraction, dividing, stuff of that nature, bro. If you can read and you know how to do math, you're going to be good in this world. If you can read and you know how to do math, what else do I need? Why am I going to school after 8th? In 8th grade, we know all that. We know how to read. In 8th grade, I knew how to read properly. I knew 3 plus 3. I knew 2 plus 2. You know what I'm saying? I knew all that, gang. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't even need to know, like, you know, you got calculators now. If I type in, say, a big 100 plus 100, it's going to do the work for me. You know what I'm saying? 100, look. 100 plus 100. What I need a school teacher for? 100 plus 100, that's 200. Calculator can teach me, you know what I'm saying? Can teach me math. What do I need a teacher for, man? Know what I mean? Keeping it real, man. Just keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? Reading and education. That's it. School is BS. And one thing I hated history class. I hated history class. I never paid attention to history. Know what I mean? I'm one of them folks, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna teach about history, bro, teach all history. Don't just pick and choose when you want to teach history. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't need no Black History Month, bro. My month every month. I don't want you to feel like we the only ones that got the black, bro. We don't need no Black History Month, bro. We're gonna give them this year to make them feel important. I'm always important, bro. I'm important just like you. I ain't no better than you. You ain't no better than me, bro. I don't give a damn about that Black History Month, bro. You know what I'm saying? We are history. Freaking you talking about? Black people is history. You know what I mean? Freaking you talking about, gang? We're history. The freak. You know what I'm saying? You know how much history we got, bro? We are history. But yet I'm in a freaking history class learning about some dang King Tut. Learning about some dang mummies. But gang, when have we ever learned about slavery? When have we ever learned about the Civil Rights Movement? Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. They only talk about that, bro, in certain things. Black History Month is when they'll talk about it. But when it comes to regular history class, man, we ain't hearing about that. We ain't hearing about the KKKs. We ain't hearing about that junk. You know what I'm saying? They you know, one thing about history, you know, they lie. You know they took away, you know they act like they invented everything, bro. You did not invent most of the things you say you invented, bro. You lied, gang. You lied, bro. You know what I'm saying? You literally cheated. You literally took if you were so smarter, right? And I'm talking to racist people. If you were so smarter like you claim to be, if you were so elite like you claim to be, why do you have to cheat? Why do you have to steal everything? You know what I mean? Why do you have to steal everything if you're so elite? You're just criminals. If you're so elite, if you're so expertise, I'm like, just think about it, bro. Back in the day, bro, white kids, bro, you had better education. You literally was like, you had the advantage. Literally, everything was put out for you. Literally, here you go. You feel me? Everything on a freaking silver platter, bro. When it comes to black folks had to scrape and freaking, and we still neck and neck. Still neck and neck. Even though you cheated. In reality, you cheated. You stole everything from black folks. Racist white folks stole everything from black folks. We can go from inventions. We can go from the land. They stole everything from black folks. If you think white folks was the first one here in America, you got your dang mind. They stole this land. Stole this land. You feel me? That's all I be saying, bro. Let's talk about history. Talk about this. This is a part of history. Talk about this. This is history. Let's talk about history. You want to talk about history? I would say, man, when y'all go to school, man, F that history class. You gonna see what I'm saying? If you still in school right now, you got history class, watch, they ain't gonna say nothing about this. They gonna wait, look, they ain't gonna speak about Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna speak about no wars. They ain't gonna speak about what happened in Vietnam. These folks in these schools ain't gonna speak about none of that junk. You know what I'm saying? They gonna learn, you gonna learn about some mummies. You know what I mean? You gonna learn about some history we don't even give a dang about. And most of that history in that book, they lying. That's what you gonna learn about. You ain't finna learn about nothing else, gang.
I always told him now, when they go on any place, to go.
F history. F school. You know what I'm saying? F school. I'm against school. I'm against school. But I ain't gonna lie, my kids they gonna finish school. I'm gonna make sure my kids get the best education. My kids gonna finish school, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't finna act like school is the only way. My kids gonna finish school though. Just to get that degree. I know that, you know what I mean? That not degree, but that diploma. You know what I mean? I know that diploma is important. But other than that, I don't care if you never go to college. I ain't go to college.
He said,
I won't go to
always
college.
do that, Mama.
So he knows about this and you don't think he has done anything careless?
No, I don't.
Weeks later, his body would be found dumped on the side of a wooded road, strangled. Then came Terry Pugh, last seen at a shopping center selling empty plastic bottles. 2 days later, a passerby came across his body in DeKalb County, fully clothed and strangled. February 5th,
when I mean this
12-year-old
junk
Patrick
right up the
Balthazar
street,
vanished
bro.
on his way to a boxing match.
Junk is right
a week
up the
later,
street,
his body was
Junk
found
is
again
crazy.
in DeKalb County, fully
Ab
clothed
County.
and strangled.
I don't know how
This
close
time,
this is to
police
me,
found small
gang.
dog hairs and green carpet fibers on his body.
I ain't never heard about
Later
this.
that
What
same
the
day,
freak?
Atlanta police found more skeletal remains of a different child, and upon comparing dental records with the children who were
Well, I don't hear about this. Why
it
is this not
was
talked about a lot, bro?
controversially to be those of Jeffrey Mathis.
Tell me why this is not talked
Nearly
about.
A year earlier, while running an errand for his mother.
Have y'all ever heard about this?
February 19th, 13-year-old Curtis
This is
Walker
a massacre.
after going out to find work after school. It would be just under a month before he'd be found in only underwear floating face down in the South River. His cause of death, just like the others, asphyxiation. Now something was shifting with the killer's MO. Bodies were no longer being left on land. They were turning up in rivers. The reason? Investigators working on the case had let it slip to the media that they were finding carpet-like fibers on the victims, fibers that could help identify the killer. Once that detail was published on the front page of the Atlanta Constitution, bodies started to be found in the river, presumably to wash off any incriminating fibers. At this point, police were at varying stages of identifying suspects across the different cases.
I'll see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What the?
At this point, police were at varying stages of identifying suspects across the different cases. 14 of the 21 cases so far had absolutely no suspects.
Crazy.
For the others, though, they had done varying degrees of investigation. For example, police had established a strong suspect for the murder of Clifford Jones, who was found behind a shopping plaza. They had 3 witnesses who claimed they saw a manager of one of the plaza stores go into a back room with a young black child. One of the witnesses claimed he'd actually seen this manager strangle and beat the victim before taking his body to the dumpster where he was later found. Police later interviewed this manager. His alibi couldn't be corroborated and he failed 2 polygraph exams, but police didn't charge the man because the witness who'd seen this had an intellectual disability. Nevertheless, the police at the time generally agreed that there wasn't one deranged killer. The cases, at least to the police, seemed too distinct. LaTanya Wilson was the only case that suggested a sexual motive. Edward Hope Smith was the only victim that was shot. Some victims were fully clothed, while others were stripped down to their underwear, or even wearing clothes that didn't belong to them. Despite this, some details did stand out as similarities across the murders. Most victims' cause of death was asphyxiation or strangulation, and the same carpet-like fibers had been found on some of the bodies. Of course, all victims were black children or young teens, which is why the Atlanta City Council applied a curfew on all youths under the age of 16 from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. But while this measure was intended to reassure the public, the murders continued. March 2nd.
All right. You know what I'm saying? That's part 1. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want part 2, y'all let me know, man. You know, matter of fact, I'm going to do part 2, dude. I'll give y'all the history. But they don't show you, I'm going to show you. How about that? Just best believe Jay gonna show you what you don't know. What you don't know, Jay gonna show you. I'm saying, I bet y'all none of y'all knew about this right here. Look at all these black kids that got killed by these white people, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about this right here. But yeah, black people get looked at like they're the most violent ones in America. Now, get the freak out of here. Everybody kill everybody. That's the reality. Everybody kill everybody. You know what I mean? But when a white person, when a black person does it, oh my God, they're just such the, freak out my face. You know what I'm saying? That'd be so funny, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know the satisfaction. I don't know the obsession that people have with black people. It's weird. It's really weird. I ain't gonna lie to you.